Missy, a lot riding on this match.
So much at stake for these teams. Wisconsin has never won a national title, but this is a senior class who has accomplished a whole lot. A Big Ten title to their credit, and they would like to add to those accolades.
And no surprise here, Tiana Williams comes out and gets the first 2 kills for Wisconsin. She was so big, came out really strong in the regional semifinal against Ohio State.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing, Courtney. They established Williams early in the match yesterday, and you see the same thing again here today.
And it's an ace for Kelly Bates. The Badgers on a roll as they score the first 3 points here in set 1. Marletta Lutz takes the swing. Carlini is going to set up Haley Nelson. And there's the outstanding freshman Catherine Plummer swinging from the right side. You'll see her all over the court.
This is going to be a really fun matchup between 2 great teams with a lot of talented youth. Catherine Plummer for Stanford is the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. Molly Haggerty for Wisconsin, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. We will get to see them go at it.
Stanford actually a very young squad. They boast 6 freshmen, 4 of them starters. Marletta Lutz on the swing. Dug up by McDonald. And speaking of that other freshman, Molly Haggerty from the back row.
It tells you a lot about the talent of a freshman when your setter goes to her out of the back row. Not just in the front row, but they find her for offense out of the back of both Lauren Carlini, now in her senior year, and the true freshman Jenna Gray, who I think will have a career much like that of Lauren Carlini.
Kelsey Humphreys rotates in to serve for the Cardinal. And Gray will send over the free ball. Here's Haggerty. Vonyak able to get a swing off. And Stanford almost crumbles, but still gets off the kill by Ivana Vonyak.
How about the dig? True freshman libero Hintz for Stanford out of the back row, diving into the middle of the court. Coach Dunning has said, as a true freshman, this is a player that has raised the level of play in our gym. She makes everyone around her better. Another dig by Hintz.
What a great angle by Haggerty. Hintz was waiting for her. Kreshkova off of the arms of Kelsey Humphreys.
Huge lift, as Kelly Sheffield said. She was dropping dimes, placing it exactly where they wanted it, allowed them to set up on defense and really make a run against that Ohio State team who was in control at the time.
Carlini has to push some of her teammates out of the way to get that one. Back to Haggerty. Right through the block.
Wow. It's a word that was every aspect of the game from the setting position. Lauren Carlini will prove you wrong. She knows how to score points in the big moments.
Carlini with 16 digs against Ohio State yesterday. She's got 3 this afternoon. Tipped over by Nelson. And Haley Nelson continuing to be one of the veterans on this team.
The senior connection. These two work so well together, such familiarity. Nelson in her career already 1,000 kills and 500 blocks. Those are huge benchmarks.
Marletta Lutz making the defense scramble, and Stanford tacks on another one.
A nice response from Lutz as Wisconsin has started to pull away here. We've talked about the youth of Stanford. We asked Coach Dunning before yesterday's match, how would they respond? And he said, I have no idea. We'll just see how they do. They have done quite well on the big stage, but you better believe they're going to look to those upperclassmen.
And Haley Nelson gets the fans on their feet as it's set point for the Badgers. Nelson with 3 kills, hitting .600. Wisconsin will bring in Sarah Dodd to serve. Lutz off the block. The Badgers are there to stop it. Here's Kreshkova. Corner pocket does the trick for Romana Kreshkova in Wisconsin. Will switch sides.
Plummer has such an ability to see the court. She is the only player to have won an FIVB World Championship medal in both indoor and outdoor. One of the best beach players in her age group.
Yeah, you think she's good indoor. See her in the sand. Plummer goes up and gets that one. Bates digs her up. And Badgers falling all over the court, but can't get it back over the net.
The thing you have to love about Wisconsin, they never believe a rally is dead. Against out of Germany now in her redshirt junior year. She is fluent in 5 languages, by the way.
That's really impressive. You give Wisconsin an overpass, and Haley Nelson's going to give it back to you.
Sarah Dodd in the serve for the Badgers.
Haley Nelson, such a solid middle blocker. There is not 8 each making it into the tournament and coming into the regional finals. 3 remain from each conference, and 3 of our regional finals are Big Ten Pac-12 matchups, all on Big Ten courts, however. So you feel like the Big Ten definitely has an advantage, as well they should. They earned the highest seeds, and in this year's tournament, the teams with the highest seeds had the opportunity to host. You would think, though, that perhaps Stanford could make a case for their abilities against the Big Ten. They beat Minnesota, Illinois, and Penn State early in the season.
Tie it up.
And the plan is that next year they would implement the review system at this point in the tournament, in the regional semifinals and finals. It's a timeline that they plan to follow to implement it over the course of the next several years. That timeline will be evaluated at the end of this season and see if there are any adjustments made.
Kreshkova gives Wisconsin back the lead. And it will be Amber McDonald with the ball in her hand to serve. A great pancake by Kelly Bates. Fitzmaurice. Match. Carlini to Nelson down the line. Dug up by Hintz. Haggerty will have to set it over from the back row. And Ajanaku finds a spot.
You're being compared to some really great names in the sport of volleyball.
Coming off a season-high 17-kill performance, hit .538 yesterday against Florida State. Nelson off the block and out. Here's set point for Wisconsin.
Lauren Carlini said that Nelson was demanding the ball yesterday. She and Molly Haggerty both, and that she trusted her and went to her on match point. I think we see that same sort of connection here in this match. You go to those that you trust.
Gray to Ajanaku. She gets it down. And Stanford within 1, still set point for Wisconsin.
Ajanaku averaged only 2.7 kills over the course of the season, but in tournament play, averaging an entire kill per set more, nearly 4 kills per set in tournament play alone.
Stanford has to be perfect here. Carlini to Nelson. And we're tied at 24.
All day long, Wisconsin has gone after the block of Vonyak. Staying away from Lutz over there at the right antenna, and finally Vonyak makes them pay.
You do have to win by 2. Kreshkova from the middle. Vonyak. And they will call 4 hits. They'll say it didn't get over the net. It was an awkward angle for Ivana Vonyak, and here is set point for Wisconsin.
A big-time dig by Hintz to keep it alive, but as you said, a really awkward swing for Vonyak in a bad position.
Sarah Dodd comes in off the bench, and she will serve for the Badgers. Vonyak tipped over. And And it's Haley Nelson giving the Badgers a 2-set lead. They are 1 set away from a spot in Columbus. Wisconsin takes it 26-24. Let's head back to the studio, and Brendan Fitzgerald and Nell Fortno, they'll break it all down for you.
Finally in system, Stanford was able to go to Lutz. They thought they had a kill there. I think Lutz thought there was a touch, but it's called out of bounds.
Kelly Bates diving on the floor once again to keep things going for the Badgers. Carlini to Williams on the slide, hits into the block and the tape.
Maybe one of the first balls from Carlini this weekend that wouldn't be described as killable. She has such great placement, but that time Williams overruns it just a little bit and it dives into the blocker's hands.
Haggerty runs over to get it. Gray will go to Fitzmaurice. Carlini still able to bump set Haggerty. Vonyak right at Emmy Dodge, handles it nicely.
In big numbers all across the board.
Lutz goes out but takes a piece of the block with her. It will be a point for Stanford, and Lutz will rotate out. She's got 8 kills.
And again, we're seeing a very balanced attack for Stanford, exactly what we expected. Both of these teams run a 5-1. One setter have 5 attackers, and on both of these teams, every attacker averages over 2 kills per set. And guess what? Lauren Carlini can get a kill as well, as this time she decides to go over on 2, but look how she disguises it. Keeps those hands down until the last second.
Yeah, she doesn't just have 1 kill, she has 4 kills on the night. Not bad for a setter. Vonyak. And Gillis will push it to the back corner. Right down the line. Point, Wisconsin.
Gillis, just another one of those Badgers who has upped her game in the postseason. Normally freshman of the year, and you heard Coach Dunning allude to the fact that this team has been through a lot. Players on this team who are not with them at this point, they are missing the play of Haley Hodson. Last year's Pac-12 freshman of the year, they would have had back-to-back freshman of the year on the same team, but she has taken a medical leave of absence. So they have altered their lineup over the course of the season, and then Wisconsin has used 6 different lineups as well. The only players who have not changed over the course of the season are Carlini, the setter, and the 2 middle blockers.
And there's that Stanford block we know so well.
This is a block that has the ability to take over a match if you play into their hands. And Stanford knows that if they serve well, their block can score quick points. Coach Dunning said, actually, we probably haven't practiced blocking as much as you would think over the course of the season when you consider what a great blocking team they are, because he said it's really a domino effect. It depends on how well we serve and do the other things as to whether or not our block can impact a match.
And they will call double contact on Stanford. Point for Wisconsin. The Cardinals still 3 points away from forcing a 4th set.
Coach Dunning with a little smile for his freshman setter, Jenna Gray, encouraging her to shake that one off.
Kelly Bates with the serve. That is ace number 4 for Bates today.
And credit Kelly Bates for her willingness to play any role where her team is needed. She said Emmy was hurt in the spring, and she knew she may be called on to play libero, so she had specifically trained in the left back during the spring, but has started at both libero and outside hitter over the course of the season, and she finds ways to impact a match from every position.
The service error will put the ball in the hands of Adriana Fitzmaurice for Stanford. Carlini over on 2. This time the Cardinal ready for it. Here's Plummer. Dug up by Bates. Free ball opportunity for Wisconsin. Gillis. to the back corner, and it was in.
The line judge has to turn, but never moves her feet, and she's right on the line. So anything in front of her is inbounds, and it certainly was. I have to question that last rally, though. A couple balls to Jenna Gray where she had an opportunity to set Inky Ajanaku, and she goes outside. I think for those 3 rotations where Inky's on the floor, and you have that opportunity to set her, you've got to cash in.
Well, Stanford will get set point on a service error from Wisconsin. Cardinal looking to force a 4th set. Here's Jenna Gray. Gillis down the line and in.
Not quite yet, says Gillis.
Wisconsin has to be perfect for 3 more points if they want to go ahead and close this out in 3.
How's that for a little pressure on the true freshman Sarah Dodd, who steps back to serve?
Ajanaku. They'll go back to Plummer on the right side. And Haggerty will send over the free ball. And that's who you go to. You go to your senior. Stanford forces a 4th set. The Cardinal will not be swept here in Madison yet. Inky Ajanaku says, I'm not ready to finish my career. We're playing on. And her father also played football at Stanford. So she's a Cardinal through and through. Haley Nelson feeling good about it on the slide.
We talked about how big the Stanford block is coming in. So what do? You make them have to move. Don't run right at them. And again, Nelson on the slide has been so effective.
Fitzmaurice. Blocked. Who's up there at the net?
Haley Nelson. A perfect picture of her career. She had a huge kill followed up by a stuff block. We've said it already, but she is a complete player.
And Ivana Vonyak will put an end to the Wisconsin run as she goes cross court. Holland McKenna back in as Vonyak takes a seat. She has 7 kills and a block.
Coming into the tournament, McKenna led the team with 19 aces. She has the ability to go on a serving run, but Wisconsin side outs quickly, and she will exit the service line. It is a great rotation for Wisconsin to get out of. You see a really nice pass by Dodge there out of the back row that keeps Wisconsin in system yet again.
That one just sneaks in. Another point for the Cardinal.
And what you see from Haley Nelson there as she tries to run that down is the effort you expect from a defensive specialist. And there she is at middle blocker, diving across the back row.
Carlini to Kreshkova. No touches called. And after a hot start for Romana Kreshkova, she's gone a little quiet.
The set wasn't quite there. And Kelly Sheffield said it. You have to stay in system. When Carlini is along the net and she has choices, this Wisconsin team is very hard to defend.
That time, it's in. Kreshkova now with 11 kills. She had 9 through the first 2 sets.
And remember, the play prior to this was a Kreshkova error. But Lauren Carlini doesn't hesitate to go right back to her fellow senior.
And it's an ace for Amber McDonald. McDonald with her 3rd ace tonight.
She made a huge service run in the 4th set just last night against Ohio State. Can she bring that spark again today?
Wisconsin with 6 aces tonight. Ajanaku off the block. Williams going cross court. Hello, point, Wisconsin.
And so to go down 0-2 hasn't shaken this Cardinal team.
A spot in Columbus is on the line. And that time, Lauren Carlini had plenty on it.
After the miss on her last try, at sending over second contact, she was not going to be denied on that one.
Carlini with 5 kills as a setter. Vonyak into the tape. Wisconsin not going anywhere.
This is a Wisconsin team who was down in the 4th set against Ohio State just last night, and Lauren Carlini said that's when you have to embrace the moment. That's what championships are made of, and they have that opportunity again here tonight.
Lutz goes cross court for kill number 10. She's now the 2nd Stanford player with double-digit kills.
A nice push back by Jenna Gray. And Lutz is at 6'8", a player who hits so high above the block and at an angle that you just don't see throughout the season.
Gillis. Vonyak once again. Kelly Bates with a nice dig. Fitzmaurice blocked. Carlini pushes it to Gillis. Vonyak goes long. Point, Wisconsin on another great rally. We've seen several of those.
Realize this is a Wisconsin team who has never beaten Stanford. Interestingly, these two programs have only played each other twice. The last time was 2004 when Stanford swept Wisconsin in the postseason play that happened in Green Bay.
Haggerty goes up to contest. Now she'll take a swing. Gray to Plummer. Through the block. A point for Catherine Plummer.
You see the pump of the fist from Catherine Plummer, who has certainly had to earn every single one of hers. It was a slow start for her. Wisconsin defense has been all over her. She's had to take a lot of out-of-system swings, but she's earned a few here as of late that are big for Stanford.
It's an ace for Jenna Gray. Ace number 5 for Stanford.
One of the better servers over the course of the season, along with Plummer, had 18 prior to tonight, and that was just right behind Holland McKenna, who had 19.
Tiana Williams gets Wisconsin 1 point closer.
And you see Tiana Williams off 1 foot again, the ability to cut that ball off at any point, that time taking it straight down the line.
Janaku. You knew as soon as she was going to Inky, it was probably going to be a kill.
And Wisconsin, if you notice here on the replay, has all 3 blockers up in the middle. They're bunched, ready to defend her, but there's no defense for that.
Stanford now 2 points away from forcing a 5th set. Gillis. Using the block.
And Wisconsin does such a great job of utilizing Gillis at the left pin, but well off the net. Right here in front of us, we had a great angle at her approach. She gets well off the court, takes a big approach, but swings well off the net, and it allows her room to go around that big Stanford block.
And a service error for Wisconsin will bring up set point for Stanford. Not the first time we've seen that happen tonight. Morgan Hentz. Gillis again. Off the block and down.
And again, Gillis is such a smart attacker. You see there, that's not a full swing. She's very much aware of those blockers' hands in front of her. A good job just using them.
Carlini down the line, right to Catherine Plummer. Lutz over the block. They'll go back to Gillis. Wozniak into the block, but it stays down. Another point for Wisconsin.
Timeout, Stanford.
And Stanford wants to take a timeout. They were up 24-19.
That last ball, a great dig passed up into the middle of the court, but well off the net. It becomes a one-option situation. And the Wisconsin block just has the advantage as they're camped out and waiting there on Wozniak.
Stanford still 1 point away from forcing a fifth set. Keep in mind it was Wisconsin coming out and taking sets 1 and 2.
It looked like they may follow Nebraska's lead, who swept their regional final against a Pac-10 opponent and punched their ticket as well, but all of a sudden things don't look so sure. Remember the last time that a conference had 3 teams at the finals, at the semifinal round, was 2006 when the Pac-10 sent 3 teams to the semifinals, but actually it was Nebraska who ended up winning that.
If you're looking for Texas and Creighton, you can find that right now on ESPN News. We'll get you there as soon as we're done here, but we may have a fifth set coming up. Stanford just 1 point away from forcing that fifth set. We saw Wisconsin and Ohio State go to 5 sets yesterday. What an exciting match that was.
And when you go to that fifth set, you start to see the advantage of these higher seeds having the opportunity to host, as this place got really rowdy. And remember, that is a shortened fifth set, only to 15.
Lauren Carlini still serving for the Badgers. Wozniak through the block, and that will do it. We will play 5 here in Madison as Stanford.
The player who brought the fire last night, not just with her play, but with a little pep talk to her team.
Ajanaku runs up to get it. Haggerty dug up by Plummer. It's in off the block. Inky Ajanaku at the net.
Early in that rally, not a good set by Jenna Gray, the freshman setter for Stanford, but what a luxury to have the redshirt senior, Inky Ajanaku, there at the net to erase those mistakes.
Ajanaku with a double-double. She's got 18 kills and 11 blocks. Lutz tooling the block, and Stanford is up by 4. Wisconsin has to take a timeout as the Cardinal is trying to run away with it. Stanford on top 7-3 here in set 5. Wisconsin has to call a timeout as they are trailing Stanford 7-3 in the fifth set here in Madison, Wisconsin. Courtney Lyle and Missy Whittemore with you. So much on the line in front of a packed house inside UW Fieldhouse. It's been 2 days of sellout crowds, and right now Wisconsin in danger of having their season come to an end. And they'll get Stanford with a net violation. Wisconsin will get the point.
Kreshkova, a transfer from VCU, was not with this team when they made that trip to the finals in 2013, but she is a redshirt senior as well, and a little something extra on that swing.
Fitzmaurice into the block of Carlini and Williams.
We see the nice setup there by Carlini, who comes in to help. We talked about her ability as a setter to impact the game, even as a blocker. Last night matching her career high in blocks.
Kelly Bates hustles over to save it, but it's out. Point for Stanford. The Cardinal the first to reach 8. They will switch benches and sides of the floor. But that block for Stanford has really started to affect Wisconsin late in this match. 17 blocks for Stanford.
And Coach Dunning said it's a domino effect. You can't just say we're going to block balls to win. You have to do the right things to put your blockers in a position to have that opportunity. And it's taken them a while to get into that situation, but they have upped their level of play in sets 3, 4, and now 5, and we begin to see that domino effect of their block affecting this match.
What a save by Morgan Hintz. The swing goes out by Williams, but Morgan Hintz is the reason that Stanford gets a point.
Folks, this is a freshman libero making the huge dive to her left. One-arm save. Phenomenal.
Carlini will try Williams again. This time, her swing does get the block.
And enough pace on that one that it's impossible to run down. It was interesting. Hintz said one of the big adjustments for her as a libero coming into college was to be prepared to run balls down off that block. The college block is so big and touches so many balls.
Carlini over on 2. Net violation called on Stanford.
Stanford looks at the down official like, no, but I think she definitely got a piece of it there.
Stanford still up by 2. Fitzmaurice. Gillis goes long, point for Stanford, and now it is just a quick 5 points that the Cardinal needs.
And the other domino effect of a successful Stanford block is that it makes attackers uncomfortable. And Coach Sheffield talked to us about this coming into the match. It then begins to create attacking errors that you don't typically see because the attackers start to think about that big block.
27 attack errors for Wisconsin on the night. Free ball opportunity for Stanford. Gray goes with the tip. What a dive by Haggerty. Are you surprised? That Stanford block still chugging away.
In this, with Jenna Gray in the front row, Molly Haggerty, a beautiful diving save. Fitzmaurice closes alongside its 2 freshmen for the stuff block.
Stanford on top as Wisconsin calls a timeout. Stanford so close, just 4 points away from a trip to Columbus. We are in set 5. Playing to 15, you have to win by 2. It's Stanford Gillis off the block. They'll try her again. Williams goes after it and gets a point for the Badgers.
And you just have to love the way that she chases these slide plays down. She goes after him full speed and a nice swing right there through the seam of the block.
Gillis off the block. Hintz is there to keep it alive. They'll try Plummer. Long, barely gets it in.
And Plummer, who has the power, also has the finesse. And this is definitely not the hardest tip ball we have seen here today, but it might be the best placed.
3 points away. Plummer. Great dig by Bates. And Gillis finds some room to breathe.
Again, Gillis well off the net for Wisconsin out there in left front, and that has given her the ability to handle that Inky Ajanaku block. But the good news for Stanford is that Inky is back on the floor.
Inky with a double-double, a career-high 11 blocks today. 18 kills to go along with it. They'll try her on the slide. She loves it. It's tipped. She'll take the point.
There's no surprises at this point in the match. With the game on the line, we kind of know who's getting the ball. It's who's going to execute right here.
Haggerty has to run almost to the Wisconsin bench to get it. And Stanford gets a free ball in return. And Ajanaku slams it down. Can you say match point Stanford?
Match point Stanford.
Trailed 0-2 going into the locker room.
1 point away from the volley 4. Reshkova. Hence will bump set Plummer. Pack your bags, Stanford. You're going to Columbus. It is the Stanford Cardinal coming back